With the Earth restored, Wang Ling finds his spiritual force once again confined within the talisman or seal. However, his repeated attempts to restart the world have drained the Earth's spiritual energy. At school, Mrs. Pan enters announcing a spiritual test to elevate the students, either expelling or promoting them to the class elite. Wang's friends, unaware of his past deeds and still regarding him as a loser, offer to assist him in passing the test as they engage in a heated argument. Quietly slipping away to the restroom, Wang finds Hao waiting for him. There, Hao proposes a partnership, suggesting they combine their skills to craft magic pills that could aid them in acing the exam. Outside, the test begins, with students being evaluated by a thunderbolt strike. Meanwhile, Wang and Hao begin forging their pills. In the lab, Miss Pond catches them, but they cleverly feign drying their soaked uniforms and slip away. Their smelly underwear unexpectedly becomes their savior. However, in a panic to conceal the pills, Hao hastily swallows them, causing himself to bloat. Wang acts swiftly, delivering a spiritual slap that causes Hao to deflate just in time. Thanks to Wang's intervention, the force of the slap is sufficient for Hao to pass the test. When it was Wang's turn, he stepped into the elevation platform and immediately his spiritual force began to gather. Dark clouds swirl overhead, engulfing the city and plunging it into darkness. Sensing something wrong, the instructor rushes to intervene, attempting to unplug the arena. However, as she reaches for Wang's sword, the immense force contained within it causes a crack to ripple through the layers of the earth, exposing it to a potentially deadly rupture. The Emperor of Doom, enraged by the crack in the human world, interrogates his counselor about the absence of Froggy, whom he had dispatched to present him with intelligence about the human world and its forces. In a bid to rectify the situation, he orders the counselor to investigate. Meanwhile, as the news of the counselor's arrival reaches Froggy, he decides to seek refuge at Wang Ling's place to evade detection. After dinner, Wang Ling's father and Froggy attempt to bolster Wang's abilities by affixing a new talisman on him, aiming to enhance his speech. However, their efforts go awry, nearly causing serious harm. Quickly, Froggy consumes the burst, correcting the talisman's function and making it difficult for the counselor to track him as his spiritual force escalates. Later, Mrs. Pan arrives at their home to address Wang Ling's slow progress. Just as she begins to voice her concerns, Wang Ling starts behaving oddly, signaling to his father that the talisman isn't functioning properly. With nervous sweat, his parents make a plan to distract Mrs. Pan, buying enough time for Wang's father to repair the talisman. However, their efforts go in vain at the worst possible moment. Despite the talisman swap, an unexpected turn of events unfolds as household objects inexplicably begin absorbing Wang Ling's life force. Using the extra source that Froggy consumed, Wang Ling controls them. However, his talisman starts breaking down. Just as the counselor finally tracks Froggy down, since his energy had depleted, the minute he opens the front door, Wang Ling's force bursts through, making the poor devil dude thrown down the hill and melting into a puddle of lava. The family successfully bids a satisfied Miss Pan goodbye, while not knowing that they saved the poor dog. At school, students chatter about the disappearance of the Idle Beauty, the world's #1 assassin, after a swordliner crash. Just then, Miss Pan enters, introducing a new student, Lin Xiaoyu. Strangely, Wang Ling finds her familiar. Meanwhile, Instructor Wang and the Magic Squad tail a woman, Liu Yu, sister of the former Shadow Faction leader. They plant a trap as she enters the school. Inside, as the boys wander around, they spot Liu Yu walking into a room. Immediately, Chen Chan follows. They enter the messy room and hear someone approaching, prompting them to hide under the table. To their dismay, they realize it's Lin Xiaoyu's room. In their argument, they accidentally open a ground compartment and fall below. Liu Yu arrives before the imprisoned Shadow Boss, but she's not here to rescue her. Instead, she's seeking revenge for the swordliner crash, which separated her from her lover and made loose her position as the Shadow Faction leader, while Liu Yu got sucked into the deadly world and labored. Wang Ling manages to usher them into a secure room, where he comes to a realization. Froggy's arrival 10 years ago had triggered the swordliner crash. Just as Liu Yu is on the brink of delivering the fatal blow to the boss, Instructor Wang arrives, intervening to save her. He reveals to Liu Yu that she is actually Idol Beauty, who has been waiting for all these years. Their reunion is filled with passion and emotion. Instructor Wang, now united with his lover, conducts a class on sword maintenance. After class, Wang Ling and his friends engage in a discussion about their swords and decide to visit a sword maintenance shop. To their surprise, they find Lin Xiaoyu working there. As Lin Xiaoyu maintains their swords, she confides that ever since losing her sister, a sword spirit, she has been working at spiritual places in hopes of reconnecting with her. It is also revealed that Lin doesn't possess a sword of her own. After she leaves work, the group decides to stay behind, determined to forge a new sword using Wang Ling's unique sword design. Using the crown of the devil counselor Wang Ling melted, they forge Lin a new sword, bringing her to tears when they surprise her with it. As they enjoy the moment, Tang appears, degrading Wang Ling and his friends and declaring his family owns the shop. He challenges Lin to a trial of her new sword against his snow-blowing technique and sword spirit. Tang's sword seems strong before he strikes Lin's sword, but as he strikes, he feels a pang of negative force. Then Lin Xiaoyu's sword starts feeding off his spiritual force and his sword's force too. In a flash, Wang Ling's sword slashes through, breaking the connection as Lin's friends rush in, making sure that she is safe, and a shriveled Tang falls to the ground. It's autumn reunion day where students exchange sachets for well-wishing. However, school restrictions make it hard for Sun Rong to give hers to Wang Ling. As she wonders, Lin suggests that she gives it after school at night. When Sun Rong asks Wang Ling out at night, she gets disappointed when Chen Chao and Hao show up as well. In that moment, scared of the dark school, Chen Chao and Hao keep on getting spooked. Unknown to them, it's the shadow boss breaking out of the prison, bursting through the toilet. She scares the two enough to make them collapse. However, Wang Ling flushes her back down. She tries coming back up from the elevator, but her poor luck continues when Wang Ling bursts her down. With the guys out, Sun Rong finally offers her sachet to Wang Ling. Suddenly, Lin Xiaoyu appears, punching him away due to the counselor's crown in her sword. She has been possessed by the counselor. She grabs Sun Rong and is about to suck her into the Doom World when the Shadow Boss springs forth, screaming that Sun Rong is hers to take care of. In a flash, Wang Ling sweeps through, taking Sun Rong with him as Shadow Boss punches the counselor instead, getting him sucked in, and doubling over, Wang Ling punches the Shadow Boss into a wall, laying an unconscious Sun Rong down gently, and then accepts the sachet. Aww. Zhou Yi engages in a conversation with the top predecessors of the human race, discussing the alarming depletion of spiritual force and the ominous crack linking to the demon world, which permits an increase of demon influence. The highest predecessor reaches a decisive conclusion, ordering the capture of a demon to pave a path back to the demon world. At school, Chen Chao gets in trouble in front of everyone because his dad caught him giving his energy to a fairy fox streamer he's really into. Wang and his friends are worried because they think the fox might be a demon, tricking him into giving away his energy online. Discovering him giggling in a computer room linked to the fairy, Hao tries to smash the server, but doesn't succeed. Chen's father arrives, and seeing his son in such a trance, he angrily slashes at the computer itself. Immediately, Chen Chao grows restless, desperate to be reunited with the fairy. Chen Chao's body releases his soul, and he zaps into the server and out through the fairy's computer. With her mission accomplished, the fairy finally revealed its true demon form, prompting Chen Chao to realize his mistake. Back at school, his friends and father try desperately to revive him. Sun Rong manages to make contact and reaches out to Chen. Just in time, Wang's fist bursts out of the screen, punching the demon away and pulling poor Chen back into his body. That night, the news spread like wildfire about Sun Rong's father group going bankrupt. Sun's family, facing financial ruin, moves into their ancestral property on Mount Flowerfruit. Unaware of their changed circumstances, they adapt to a primitive lifestyle. The truth comes to light. Sun Rong's father's group bankruptcy is orchestrated by their rival, the Tang Group, led by Tang Jingzi. Working in cahoots with a demon disguised as Uncle Richmond, they plotted the downfall of Sun's family. Despite their financial woes, Sun's family still possesses the flower fruit spiritual vein, which holds significant power. However, the Tang group and their demon ally aim to eradicate it completely. On their way back to the train from Sun Rong's place, Wang and the group witness breaking news reporting the impending takeover of Sun Group by the Tangs. This takeover is to be sealed through a blood-borne contract between Sun Rong and Tang Jingzi in a ceremony. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the friends rush back to Sun Rong's place, only to be confronted by Tang Jingzi's squad. While the others engage in combat with the squad, Wang Ling manages to break through towards the ceremony. Wang Ling arrives and attempts to snatch Sun Rong away, but she stops him remorsefully, revealing her bound will in the contract. Reluctantly, Wang Ling lets her go, and she returns to the ceremony. Wang Ling, along with the injured Chen Chao, Lin Xiaoyu, and Gao Hao, retreats as they realize their current position. Defeated, as they walk away, Wang Ling notices bubbling in the water below. Acting swiftly, he jumps in and grabs hold of the demon disguised as Uncle Richmond, who is sucking the spiritual force vein of the Sun Group. With determination, Wang Ling pulls the demon out and abolishes it immediately. The Sun Group's stock skyrockets in the market, and employees rush in to stop Sun Rong before she can sign the contract. Just then, Zhao arrives to arrest the Tangs for their corruption, bringing justice to their schemes. The Songhai Spiritual Sword Art Assembly kicks off in all its glory, offering students the chance to flaunt their sword skills. As the judges settle in, the first contestant, Sun Rong, takes the stage, unaware that they are being observed by the demon himself, Uncle Richmond. As Sun Rong begins her captivating ocean dance routine, she suddenly loses control of her movements. The sword shoots towards the judges, prompting them to halt Sun Rong's performance. Growing saddened by her mistake, Sun Rong returns to the stage. However, her mishap ignites a frenzy on the internet, with people both criticizing her and boosting the show's ratings. Despite the chaos, the show continues. Chen Chao and Guo Hao step up next to cheer on Sun Rong, but they face the same ordeal, resulting in Chen getting injured. During the performances, the intense display of spiritual force directly feeds Richmond, exacerbating the situation. As Sun Rong spectates, she notices the absence of Wang Ling and Lin Xiaoyu. Suddenly, Lin Xiaoyu appears on stage, showcasing her graceful dance. However, disaster strikes as her tree catches fire. Without hesitation, Sun Rong leaps into action, using her ocean spirit to control the flames and transform them into a breathtaking spectacle. The duo receives thunderous applause from the audience, but unbeknownst to them, Richmond has already collected enough spiritual force during the performances. Richmond confidently strides onto the stage, unleashing his ultimate control. But his confidence wavers when he sees Sun Rong and Lin Xiaoyu untroubled by his influence. This is the moment when Wang Ling emerges, declaring that he has manipulated his magic formation, causing everyone to be under Sun Rong's control instead of Richmond's. Then the announcer punches Richmond through the roof. Looks like that poor demon's reign was only seconds long. In a dazzling display of glamour, Sun Rong attempts to assert control over everyone, but to her dismay, she finds herself unable to do so. Instead, everyone transforms into evil dummies, their souls seemingly gone as they mindlessly crawl towards Sun Rong, obsessed with her. Wang Ling and Lin Xiaoyu join her as they seek refuge in the tower, but the relentless dummies continue to pile up outside, their pursuit showing no signs of stopping. In an attempt to reach them, among them, in a trance, Chen races towards Sun Rong, declaring his love, which she rejects. His heart burns, breaking off the trance as he falls to the roof, realizing that the key to breaking the trance is to disappoint the heart. They decide to spread Sun Rong's message to everyone, but the closest tower gets destroyed by a meteor thrown by Richmond. The crash also takes down the Shadow Boss, who reappeared to kill Sun Rong. As Chen Chao and Lin Xiaoyu stand behind to hold off the horde of evil dummies, Wang Ling and Sun Rong board a train to the Sky Loop Fortress in space. Upon arrival, Sun Rong broadcasts her message effectively, declaring her love for only one man. Miraculously, hearts begin to mend, and the dummies revert back to their original human selves. Meanwhile, back in space, Richmond loses his sanity and transforms into his true form. He unleashes a massive meteor towards Earth in an attempt to destroy it. However, Wang Ling swiftly draws his sword and transforms the meteor into a beautiful shower of lights, ultimately defeating Richmond. As the meteor shower lights up the sky, Sun Rong and Wang Ling have an almost romantic experience. The students arrive at BP Animations. As the boss shows them around, just then the producer at the company comes rushing in, informing the boss that the director had run off, being overburdened. Panicking about what to do next, the boss decides to give the newbie students a chance, much to the bewilderment of the producer, who pleads otherwise. However, the boss sticks to this plan, explaining the animation process to the students. Given the opportunity to act as acting directors, they gather around the animators, observing them as they create beautiful pieces. Chen Chao leans over one of the animators and criticizes their animation frame, which infuriates and upsets the animator. Unleashing his art of liver bursting, he draws at a manic speed before collapsing. Moving on to another animator, they manage to annoy him too. Finally, they reach the art section and encounter Mr. Zhu, an extremely worn-out individual fussing around the students. Accidentally, one of them unplugs his monitor, causing him to lose all his progress. The man's work of a lifetime is turned to ash in an instant. The students then decide to animate on their own. However, despite Wang Ling's help, their sketches get rejected by the supervisor. Defeated and with key workers collapsed, together with the Earth's depleting spiritual force, the atmosphere turns slow and gray. Wang Ling decides to go back in time and to the director. As things settle down, the director finally arrives, restoring normal operations and bringing the atmosphere back to normal. This episode brings us back to episode 9. In the Doom world, the Demon Emperor realizes that Wang Ling is the true opponent. With Richmond's demise, the Emperor orders the counselor to trap Wang Ling and Sun Rong at the Fort Skyloop and commence the battle on Earth. At the fort, Wang Ling and Sun Rong find themselves trapped in a spatial dimension as portals open, releasing demons into the world. An urgent meeting is called, gathering all senior practitioners. Zhou Yi proposes a plan to utilize the school's spiritual test arena to obliterate the portals with a potent practitioner's force. Despite the danger, one member, an erratic individual, bravely steps forward and volunteers for the task. As the demons rampage outside, the practitioner stands on the elevation, summoning his force. He manages to annihilate the demons, but his efforts are in vain as multiple portals appear, unleashing giant pods holding thousands of airborne demons. Tragically, one of the pods crushes the poor man atop the fort. Sun Rong feels helpless as she witnesses the chaos engulfing the earth. Fortunately, Wang Ling finds a way to break through. He strategically places mirrors before each other, disrupting the frames and breaking the spatial trap. This returns everything to normal resolution, leaving Sun Rong safe within the fort. Wang Ling then swiftly shoots over to Earth and confronts the looming threat. With all hope lost, Zhao Yi helplessly spectates the scene when he spots Wang Ling. However, before Wang Ling can wipe the unwelcome critters, Lin Xiaoyu appears behind him in a butterfly's outfit, zapping him to nothing with her. Lin Xiaoyu is revealed to be of the butterfly race, a race wiped out by the Demon Emperor. Sun Rong appears before the Emperor with Wang Ling, pleading for the Emperor to fulfill his promise and return her sister. Down on Earth, Sun Rong delivers another powerful broadcast from the fort, inspiring the human race with her speech. People emerge from hiding, emboldened and ready to confront the demons with confidence and courage. In the demon world, Wang Ling imprisons the Emperor, But the old demonic figure underestimates him. Wang Ling, no longer holding back his power, overwhelms the emperor, tossing him around like a marble. Defeated, the emperor questions why humans, an insignificant race, are so stubborn. As he distracts Wang Ling with conversation, the counselor sneaks behind him and removes his talisman, believing it to be his weakness. However, this action floods Wang Ling with energy, causing the demon world to burst like a bubble and removing all demons and chaos from Earth, restoring it with spiritual rain. Returning to Earth with Lin Xiaoyu, Wang Lin forgives her and asks her to quickly call his father to bring the talisman. As the Earth settles back into peace, the people believe their courage defeated the demon, with Zhao Yi once again celebrated as the hero. Rumors of a mysterious hero persist as Wang Ling continues to live a humble life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading more videos like this in the future, so stay tuned for the next one. Also, don't forget that I'm still streaming on Twitch, so be sure to check that out too. See you in the next video.